Alright. See how well this works. Alright. There's actually a 1080p option, so let's see how well this works. Checking entitlements, it's just something. But alright, let me close this emulator. Won't be needing that right now. Let's go ahead and close some extra stuff as well. Let me do this. Hello, Yuval. I see you still have your old account. I have not seen you on stream in a very long time. Though, given there's been a lot of circumstance between then and last time, it's can't say I'm surprised. Alright, as soon as this loading screen's done, I can finally play the game. I actually haven't played this game in a while. Not really the biggest fan of it, but I did say I was going to play Dead Island the last time I did, so I'm playing it now. So let's see what kind of funny shenanigans I can get myself into, I guess. Yes, there will be gameplay, but first, an arbitrary puzzle. Because I'm pretty sure this is what I was doing last time. Which is unfortunately not optional. It's actually outputting at 1080p since I've been getting comments saying that my videos are potato quality, so let's see if it fixes that, I hope. I don't know, I'm not really a fan of Resident Evil 7. But maybe I'll give it another shot, I guess, but I just couldn't really get into it. It's yeah, it's I don't know. I'm just not really into the way that Capcom made it, honestly. Like, I wanted to play the game with the limited save system, but not with the difficulty janked or cranked up to ridiculous amounts. Yeah, Dead Island's pretty fun, but the second game is not as much fun. But it's ah, crap. I died. I died. Yeah, the trypophobia, I believe. So there's this puzzle. It's I guess I can't do that, so I guess to start here. It's basically a really weird math problem, I guess. I honestly don't even know. The original Dead Island's a lot more interesting, though. This one I'm not as much of a fan. I actually played through Dead Rising 4. I actually liked that one a lot better, if I'm going to be completely honest. Good old clean, fashioned fun, I guess. Without the annoying stuff that made the original Dead Rising so annoying, but at least it wasn't as much of a letdown compared to something like Mega Man X5, which that game is just ugh. Okay, so I gotta find a number that says 45. Here we go. Okay, so I guess it's like a puzzle or something. Like I said, it's a really weird puzzle. Okay, so this resets, and I have to, like I said, I have to do a really weird, addition puzzle. I don't know if you played this part. This part is kind of silly. There's actually another puzzle in the original Resident Evil that was just annoying for similar reasons. Like, even though it's supposed to be a very basic math problem, it's still just really weird and kind of low-key obnoxious. Like, these sorts of puzzles are just not that interesting. Okay, let's try this again. So I gotta do basic addition. I don't even know if you can like use the same one or not. Nice. Died twice in a really terrible puzzle. But anyway, hopefully your day has been going good, besides all the other stuff. There we go. I finally done it. Now to get to 45. Yeah, the layout of Resident Evil is, I know there's a website that has a bunch of, that actually does have a, like, showcasing all the areas and stuff, and I've actually been trying to find one for Resident Evil 4. But, oh, I somehow did it. Wow. I didn't expect it to be done that quickly. Oh. Zombie. Ow. There's some website for the Resident Evil games that actually that does show like all the pathways and stuff, and there's even like items based on what difficulty you're playing on, which is interesting. But it's like there's no good video, or not video, excuse me. There's no like actual like for supposed greatest game of all time. There's like not one decent map showing like the items and stuff in Resident Evil 4 of all things. Yeah, the original Resident Evil 4. The game's combat is, or at least controls, I guess, because you know you can't crap on 4. The game's combat controls have aged like milk. It's I can't stand the combat in that game as far as controls go.
Guess some of the trash didn't flush.
I don't know why people think that having tank controls in a game like that is pleasing. Oh, it's no problem. There's some people who okay, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but it's I noticed some people who do things for their country, so you know, it's definitely an honor, even if it's not exactly the U.S. to be, how the heck do you say it? Like, I don't know how to explain it, honestly. I don't want to say anything that's going to get misconstrued in some shape or form. It's like, there's some people who are patriotic, I guess, or I don't know. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's wow, this is really awkward. There we go. Flushed. The Apex Predator. I mean, I guess I'm playing, not Fortnite. I guess I'm playing Apex now, guys. But yeah, there'll definitely be time we can actually play it. I don't know if the servers are gonna be favorable since, you know, one part is in the US and one's in Israel. Okay, I'm trying to word it in a way that makes sense, but not to sound rude or anything, because I know that there are some people who, I don't know. It's some people just, they're so busy with stuff and like they don't really do anything productive. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. And especially having to be involved with some sort of military thing, at least, is definitely understandable, even if it's not part of the U.S. You know, it's like the person who says, "Oh, we'll get to it," but then they don't really do anything, and they just kind of leave you hanging. Where even if you have to do military things, it not only is a perfectly valid excuse for the reason you're occupied, but even with the circumstances, it's still technically contributing to society, unless you're like drafted or something and you're forced to do such things, which a lot of the American news talks about such things, but it's I don't know, it's there's just a lot of stuff going on in the world, but considering your circumstances, I can't really get that mad at all. Yeah, at least serving in the military does prove that people have contributed to society in some way. If that makes any sense. That's kind of the whole shtick I'm going with. I guess it's some sort of seniority logic, I guess, if I'm trying to be as nice about it as possible. It's like, oh, I can't go to the park with you, dude. I stubbed my toe. Well, I've been in the military, and I had to crawl in the grass and wait for a tank to go by. So don't talk to me about stubbing toes. I'm actually contributing to society. It's I know this sounds really weird, but despite the circumstances, at least it's still something. Because some people, they make a lot of excuses to why they can't do something. And they don't even, like, really do anything to help their kind or even just other people in general. Just really selfish. Oh, geez, that sounds rough. I know there's a lot of weird stuff that people say about such things. I don't really believe in that. Like, I think there was something about ISIS attacking Russia or something, which is all kinds of fucked up. In what? Shoot, now I've lost my train of thought. You know, especially with the whole conflict that's been going on, it's, Americans just say really weird things, honestly. I don't really like to follow this sort of thing. There's already enough depressing stuff happening every day. Yeah, it's still just all sorts of fucked up. But yeah, you have to excuse it for dying a lot. I have not played this in forever. Also doesn't help that I'm somehow not properly equipped, even though I have been farming this game for quite some time. And I guess the one time I tried to do combat, and the time I haven't played this, I just keep dying a lot over and over again. Yes, it's there's a lot of circumstances where people have to do such things. It's not exactly sunshines and rainbows. It's just depressing, honestly. But I suggest we move on from the topic, because it's just thinking about it just makes me. It just makes me feel weird. Even trying to word it makes it sound even worse. Anyway, so I take it with your time off, you've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed Unity and even GTA Online. Apparently there's going to be some sort of thing with 5M being on consoles. I don't know if it's going to happen, first of all, and if it does, it's going to be really neutered, like when you could do mods for Fallout 4 on console, but it's so limited. It's, I don't know, it's, I think I mentioned this last time, but it's just like, why can't it just be something as simple as having, like, a mod menu that lets you just spawn whatever vehicle or something, and then just having a proper first-person model for all the character models in the game, and even just letting it enjoy the online content, but without the actual online BS that Rockstar keeps doing. Yes, I do. I'm using. I'm not doing the PS4 direct capture. I even have a little fancy watermark there that you add in through OBS, which is a computer program. I actually did update CS:GO 2 before I started. I don't really like playing it, honestly, that much, because I know that most of the game is online focus and stuff. I know there's bots, though, but it's not something I'm, like, eager to play on my own time, but if it's something you want to play, I can make time for it. It's just, I'm not, like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm just... It's not exactly something I'm, like, eager to play at a moment's notice. I could be playing literally anything else. Maybe besides this game, because this game is kind of meh to me. But it's, there are definitely other games I would prefer playing personally, but for a loyal viewer, I'll dedicate the time. But unfortunately, I do have errands that need running tomorrow, but I'll definitely try to make time when I get home. The only reason I'm really playing this one is because, like I said, I did put it on the stream tab, but I didn't get around to playing it, so I kind of wanted to follow up on it. I mean, we could. Don't take it the wrong way. Just because I'm not interested in something doesn't mean I won't do it. I have been playing. Okay, I haven't been playing it, but I did play up to a certain point of Assassin's Creed Unity. It does suck the servers don't work anymore, though. I know how much you love that game. I did put in the time to try to make it work, but it seems like it was for naught. And even a game I actually do love playing, Ghost Recon Wildlands. It's Ubisoft servers are doo-doo, and they don't even work correctly. So that's a big L on their part. You need an opinion on something? Sure, go ahead. If it's something personal, though, you probably want to do it on the Discord. Pretty sure I had like some sort of thing I had to insert or something. There's no way to just like reset from checkpoint. No. I think I have to quit the game, I think. No need to apologize. It's American veterans get traumatized all the time. Just say what you need to say and don't fear nothing. As I try to find the breaker box. I think that's what I have to find, but I'm just doing horrible at it. I might have to quit the game, I think. Because I believe it was somewhere, but then I just completely lost where it was, so... Let me return to the main menu and I'll try again. Oh, geez. You're going for that thing that a lot of veterans go through. The United States veteran stuff. The equivalent of Vietnam flashbacks, but a lot worse. Yeah, you seem to have a pretty bad case of PTSD. Well, you mentioned that you were treated at a hospital. I'm sure even Israel's healthcare at least has something to treat PTSD. Post-traumatic stress disorder. It's very common for war soldiers to experience such things, especially after any form of military conflict. It can traumatize the young and the old, especially in those scenarios. Going to have to get medication for that sort of thing. It is actually a pretty serious issue too, so people like to make fun of it. Ouch. Circuit breaker. I found it and then I'm dead. That's nice. Yes, it sounds like you're going through a post-traumatic stress disorder. It could happen to anyone, really. But it is definitely commonplace for war veterans to go through such things. I'm not a doctor, though, so I can't really help more ways besides having someone to talk to about it. But I know that's something you're going to have to get actual medical treatment for, though. I know the original Rambo kind of showed that in a very traumatic way. It went from a pretty deep, meaningful movie and then it just turned into a typical war action hero series, I guess. Which I guess isn't so bad, but it's what makes the original Rambo movie really unique. It's a pretty old American film, but it's still pretty interesting. Yeah, I'm going to have to return to the menu again. This layout is really silly, by the way. Yeah, exactly. That sort of thing is very triggering for people such as yourself. the loud noises and stuff. It can be very traumatizing. A lot of people tend to use that during the New Year or in America, the 4th of July, or any major event really. But fireworks are a definite cause of such things. Pretty much any loud noises really can cause such things, and it's not very pretty when it happens. Just get reminded of really bad times, and it can affect a lot of people in a really bad way. Yes, it's I'm sure Israel has some decent health care, so we can get treated for such things. It is definitely advised that you do that so that you don't have to suffer. Regardless of origin, PTSD is no picnic. People don't even seem to understand this sometimes, but I'm going to digress on that. Okay, I know for a fact this is a booby trap, so I'm going to do the smart thing and not hit it. Okay. Apparently it's something I can't even, like, hit. Crouch? But I don't want to set off the booby trap. Like, I know for a fact that this is a booby trap, and if I walk forward, it's going to explode and I'm going to die. I've definitely seen this sort of thing. There we go. I figured there was a way to, like, disable it somehow, and I guess I did. Okay. Well, thankfully it didn't go as bad as I thought, but still. But yeah, you should definitely get medication for PTSD and hopefully not have to deal with inconsiderate idiots who try to push buttons and then make you suffer because of it. It's just not right. Okay, let me try to focus now. You still play Brawlhalla though? I know that's a game that's light in size and could make for some good fun. I think we played that before. Or what was it, Mortal Kombat 11? I think we played once or twice. Yes, we're in a sewer right now, actually. Hence the various tunnels and such. This game doesn't have any consequence for dying either, which is just kind of weird. Like, you just get this death screen, and then you just, like, put back on the planet. Like, even as easy as Dead Rising 4 is, there were still consequences for dying. Like, people meme in that game saying, oh, it's the easiest game in the series, but even dying in that game, there wasn't, like, checkpoints given to you like candy. That's good. I'm glad you enjoy Brawlhalla. I need to put more time into it. I have not played the game since I last played it with you, I think. It goes to show how much I play the game. I've been fairly busy myself, unfortunately. I mean, not for the Shaw Man meme like it was going on about earlier, but, like, actual things. Personal stuff, of course. Ow. That's okay, though. It's, I should be fine. A little rambling, a little paying attention, I should be fine. I'm just not really a fan of this game's level design, honestly. It's pretty linear, and it's like it wants to act like it's a sandbox when it really isn't. I don't like those kinds of games. I actually enjoy Far Cry more because of that, because it's like... I mean, obviously it's not as big as Skyrim as far as the map size goes, but there's still lots of things to do and lots of things to see, I guess, and the type of gameplay it has is pretty good. They made 6 really boring, though, especially with the way the game plays. They dumbed down a lot of things. They somehow make horseback riding and tank riding insanely boring, and it's a sin. An actual sin that they made horseback riding and tank riding extremely dull. Only Ubisoft, I guess. At least 5 was as good. Yeah, Far Cry 5 is good fun. There are some things in New Dawn that did get fixed from 5, but it still feels a little bit simple in some aspects. One thing I really didn't like in Far Cry 5 is that you were eventually bound to do story missions, and New Dawn doesn't have that, but New Dawn also doesn't have a New Game Plus mode, and unfortunately, it's the characters in the game are kind of annoying. There's also a boar ally they can use, and he's just ridiculously overpowered, and there's no reason to use anything else. It's not even like the type of fun broken that's like going to power fantasy and stuff, but it's just so borderline broken and goes against the whole form of the game. It's really sad, honestly. Yeah, there were some bosses in Far Cry 5 that were kind of annoying. At least the game's so fun, though, honestly. It actually did get an update, I think, on Xbox and PlayStation, where it actually got a 60 frames per second patch and stuff, so the game actually runs pretty good now. There's also the level editor, too, which is a lot of fun, honestly. There's actually a thing that didn't get brought back in Far Cry 6. You can't even have, like, Civil War battles between the Confederates and the other boys in blue. The missions in Far Cry 5 also pretty good too. I noticed one mission where you get to use a flamethrower and you hear the song "Burn Baby Burn," a really famous disco song. It's just good fun. I know they tend to use that one mission that Far Cry 3 made really popular with the burn weed and stuff, and it's not even the first game to do that, but I'll digress. There was a mission in San Andreas where you actually had to cover up a drug area or something. You actually had to use a flamethrower to burn it up, and as you did this, the screen would start shaking. It was silly. Okay, let me check the map. Okay, let's hit zoom in, so that's good. There's no helpful indicators, though, so that's good. Oh yeah, Xenoverse 2. I believe that also gonna release on PS5. I have to I try to start playing it again, believe it or not. I want to play it through the first game though, so that when I do play the second game on Xbox, I'll be a little more prepared. Because I know that you can actually technically carry your save data from Xenoverse 1 to Xenoverse 2, and I know there's some really annoying missions in 2 where you have to defeat a boss, I think, and you can get one of the better abilities, but Somehow in Xenoverse 1 it's not as annoying to get. I actually watched this YouTuber who actually did a review of Xenoverse 1 and mentioned a really cheeky way to get some of the make some good progress in there. So I'm actually going to use his video as a guide, I guess, when I get to it. Xenoverse 1 on console runs like actual trash, though. Even if you play the game on Xbox Series X or even PS5, the game just runs at 30 frames a second. It's horrible. Oh yeah, I hear the PvP in Xenoverse 2 is just AIDS. It's pathetic. Today for the game is plenty of parallel quests, I think they're called, so you can actually enjoy the game in co-op. Haven't played the game in forever though. I think they also increased the level cap, I think. It really has been a while, honestly. Yes, because of you. I'm just kidding, but I was planning on doing it anyway, but I'm just like, I want to at least have a little bit of a head start in Xenoverse 2. I know one of my friends who is also really into Dragon Ball, but doesn't have the game, which is kind of unfortunate because the game is pretty good. It is a shame that Akira Toriyama died, though. It's an absolute shame. Lost him way too soon. The creator of Dragon Ball will forever be missed, as well as creating some other wonderful IPs. Some of which aren't as well known. I think the only other one that is really well known is Dragon Quest, or Dragon Wire as it was once called. But I did used to play Xenoverse 2 with some friends, but unfortunately one turned out to be a real pain in my thorns because I didn't like Elden Ring and he didn't respect that, so fuck it. Star Wars The Force Unleashed, I have not. Is that the 360 and PS3 game? I think there's a sequel to that game. Yeah, The Force Unleashed. There's actually a Nintendo Switch version that's based on the Wii version, which actually is a pretty interesting multiplayer mode. Which is kind of interesting. Yeah, I hear the game is pretty good. I don't know if the general consensus. I don't remember what the general consensus of The Force Unleashed is, though. It kind of sucks that Battlefront's multiplayer doesn't really work too good for just playing with friends, though. I know we played the Battlefront 2 a little while ago, and it was definitely fun, but it's just a shame that EA kind of make their games correct. Just no way to play with friends only. I wouldn't know either. I can't imagine it being any harder than... I hate to really bring this up, but there's a DLC in Dark Souls which you can't even access until like the midpoint of the game, and it doesn't really give you any indication on where it is or how to get it. It's just you paid $15 and who knows if you even have it or not. It's just stupid. At least the sequels kind of made it a little more clearer, and you don't have to go for the whole game to get it. I think you have to get for like a certain point of the game. I know in Dark Souls 3, it's you can get to it much easier. One cool thing I'll give Dark Souls 3 though is that if you do have both DLCs, you can access the first one early, and if you beat the boss or main boss of the DLC, you can go to the second one right away. I think that's actually really good game design. You don't play Dark Souls at all, don't worry about it. I'm just making a really dumb comparison. Because you mentioned that you didn't know how to get to the DLC, so I couldn't help but think of Dark Souls, ironically enough, where it's not like you access it from a main menu or any weird area or something. It's just you spend $15 in the DLC, you can't even access right away. So I kind of thought of that, to be honest. You have to forgive me my ramblings. Honestly, I thought of playing Sekiro, but it's just... I don't know, it's, I know it's a single-player game, but there's still an online-offline mode, and I don't even think... I think there's a pause button, but it's just, like... It just makes me want to play Tenchu, honestly. Like... People think that Tenchu is a From Software IP, even though it's not at all. The only thing that Tenchu and From Software have anything to do with each other is that they actually publish the games, and this was way before they did Demon Souls or whatever, so why do people still misconstrue the two is beyond me. I died. Somehow. But like I said, dying in this game is basically nothing. It's actually kind of like in LEGO Star Wars where you just maybe lose some money and you just get right back up. It's supposed to be a horror game, or an action horror game or something. It's not even survival horror, it's just an action game with horror aesthetics, I guess. Like I said, even Dead Rising 4, a game that is infinitely easier, there is still actual consequences for dying, and it's it definitely has way more fun in it, in my opinion. But I'm gonna digress. Oh yeah, LEGO Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I don't think there are actually that many LEGO games by Travel Sales actually out online play. And I think the only ones that I think were even worth playing was, what was it? Lego Harry Potter on Xbox and Lego Indiana Jones 2. I think that was it. I think the other ones were strictly offline only. I know there's the complete saga, but with the way the online works in there, it's just horrible. I think it was Lego Indiana Jones 2 that had the dynamic split screen, where if you're far away, whatever, they would show the character's perspective, and the screen would actually move, which is kind of cool. But they didn't do that with the complete saga, so I think it would like end up being dropped out randomly or something. It was really annoying. It's like, Mom, you unplugged the controller! No, it's because you moved too far away. Those games are fun, but my god, the co-op in the earlier games are absolutely terrible. They were not optimized for co-op at all. I'd actually rather be playing that than this, to be honest, but it's, no use complaining now, I guess. It's gotta do what a man's gotta do. At least the gore is okay, I guess, but I just enjoyed Dead Rising 4 more personally. I've already beaten the game, though. I might go back and try to get some of the trophies, but I don't know. It's, I was also told to get this game, too. It's like, dude, you gotta get Dead Island 2. And I'm like, okay, I'll buy it when it goes on sale. And then Ken even decided to, get me to play co-op. Yeah, basically. Or at least I try to be right in some things, which I don't try to claim that every single point I make is right, but I think I have more points than most people, but I'll digress. Okay. I think I'm actually making some good progress. Alright. Dr. Reed. I was elected to lead, not to read. Right now it is 9:04. I'm gonna see how far I can get in this game, and I'll switch over to the first game, which I actually enjoy a lot more, honestly. Dead Island 1 is actually pretty good. It came out during the era of the Xbox 360 and the PS3. No, nighttime, actually. Thankfully, no one is shooting fireworks. I think that's happened a little while ago. Or yesterday, actually. I guess they were celebrating something, I don't know for what. Oh, that's nice. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself. And hopefully the return has not been completely sour. Oh! The Doom 3 segment, nice. I'm going to tear you apart! Evil slash! Evil slash! I'm going to tear you apart, X! Yeah, that's fine, just take it easy, okay? It's, you've been through a lot. You don't want to push yourself really hard.
7, 8, 6.
What the fuck? Fury mode unlocked. Alright. I finally have unlocked another ability card. And Newman. Not related to the fat singer at all. Numa, Numa, yay. I would play, but I don't know if YouTube copyrighted that shit. Okay, and all the doors are locked. I guess this is game over. Ah. Anyway, hello, Mr. Z. I didn't ignore you, by the way. I was having a pleasant conversation with my old buddy. But okay, let's see if I can get out of here, and then I'll see how much more progress I can make, and I'll move on to the first game. I have things I have to do tomorrow, so this isn't going to be one of my longer sessions. I think my longest session so far I can recall is actually finishing up Dead Rising 4. Which I really like that game, by the way. I actually wish the multiplayer in the game was a lot better than what it was, or is, because it's just kind of really badly tacked on. So actually one of the few points I'll agree with the general consensus is that, given that the multiplayer in 2 and 3 was actual co-op and the multiplayer got in 4 was just terrible, it's a crime, honestly. There's a multiplayer mod for Dead Rising 4, I'm downloading it.
Oh, thank you.
This game, though, is just super hyper-linear garbage, and I hate it. Shut up, bitch! Oh. So maybe you can't throw your weapons, that'd be funny. But speaking of unnecessarily violence, I've actually been playing Maximum Action. I actually really like that game, but I've been reading up about how the developer basically abandoned the game, and there's just not a lot of content for the price it asks. Oh, trust me, Yuval, I am taking that advice 110% with the likes of Elden Ring. I know the game is just Dark Souls 4, so I'm not going to bother. I've already said more than enough peace on it with my business. Some people weren't happy, apparently. It's, I can't help but feel how I feel. If people don't like it, it can kiss my ass. Well, I guess this game is somewhat playable, but it's just... I don't know. I definitely prefer something like Dead Rising 4. And the original Dead Island is just so much better. And I can usually tolerate a lot of bullshit, but this is definitely not one of them. And absolutely with Elden Ring. Like, I know for a fact I won't enjoy myself with that, so... I'll just play any other game that I feel like playing, I guess. I'd have to be absolutely bored out of my mind to play something like Doom Eternal, which I am not a fan of at all. I would play Doom 2016's multiplayer, but despite it being on Game Pass, nobody plays it, and much like with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, you have to be playing in public lobbies to unlock stuff. And even when you're playing against bots or in private matches, you can only use like the stuff you get from level 1. I mean, it's one of those games where it has loadouts for some reason, even though there's a mixture of finding health pickups like in older arena shooters, and instead of finding weapons, you get power weapons, some of which are taken from the main game, like the chainsaw, the railgun for some reason, whatever they call it, and of course the BFG. And of course, even the pickups let you control the monsters, but there's no proper tutorial on how to play them, so you're just kind of left with whatever. I think the best way to describe it is that we can agree to disagree. It's like, you like Assassin's Creed Unity more than I do. That doesn't mean we have to end friendships over it. It just sucks that the game servers don't work anymore, and I've honestly tried to put in as much time as I could to unlock the multiplayer, but turns out that the servers were completely crapped out. And even with something like CSGO 2, I'm not really the biggest fan of it, but that's not going to stop me from having a conversation with it or even putting time aside to playing it. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, some people really can't handle gaming opinions too good on YouTube or anywhere else. Like, religion, politics is one thing, but it's like, you don't like this game, you must be a Palestine supporter. It's like, what? Just think of how absurd that is. All because you don't like Mario or something. How retarded. Oh well. But I'm at least trying to be as honest as I possibly can. Like, this game I just find incredibly boring. But yeah, I can somehow enjoy Dead Rising 4 more, even though the general consensus of the game is that it's terrible, but I didn't completely hate it. There's some things that I've personally seen that I didn't care for, but I just kind of tend to play games that have actual better level design than games like this, which is incredibly linear. Even looking back too, like, even games that are kind of short and easy, like Mega Man X4, like, the action is just so good from start to finish that I don't really mind playing it. But then when I played Mega Man X5, it's like, oh god, why the hell am I playing this? What punishment did I deserve to play this shitty game? I guess the Super Nintendo game was also pretty good too, but they definitely had their own form of jank. But X4, despite... I could possibly see why people don't like it as much, because it is a little simpler compared to the other ones, but there's just something about it that's just really fun and appealing, and it's just... I don't really get bored playing it. Yeah, it's just a very messy situation, honestly, but I'm just trying to make a point about how people can unfriend you just because they don't like a certain video game when there's a lot worse problems going on in the world right now. I don't mean to offend, but I'm just trying to prove a point that people are just like, you don't like this video game? Well, you're an asshole. Wow, it's okay, so I don't like Assassin's Creed. That doesn't mean we have to stop being friends. I don't care for the series. If you like it, that's great. I personally don't. It's like the episode of iCarly, the most the most aged like fine wine episode there is, and yet the creator's just an asshole. Make sense out of that. Even something like Borderlands I wouldn't mind playing. A lot of games' ideas have been stemmed to other games, like Warzone with the rarity and shit. Yes, I'm listening. Oh boy, another opinion. No, I'm just kidding. Speak your mind. You have an audience with the live streamer. You may present yourself. Appropriately, of course. Close gate. Oh, in the hut, okay. Thanks, Jabba. Is this a hut? Okay. Okay, you're thirsty, but you can't walk, and you don't want to wake anybody up. What should you do? Well, I assume you're living with a caretaker or someone who helps you, right? I'm sure there's a button you can push for assistance. I'm sure even hospital care in Israel isn't so ignorant to where they can't help someone with having a glass of water. And of course, if you are unable to... Okay, they're sleeping. Do you not have a personal caretaker that can help you with such things? Is there a button that you can use to have someone come? Dang. The situation's harder than I thought. Well, don't feel ashamed in needing for help, especially when it's an emergency. It's I don't think it's a crime to have to ring a button or something, especially when you need something like water. And also, if you're unable to walk and you do need to drink some water, which I know that even water is one of them, is a very appropriate drink for when you need to recover. It should definitely, when you definitely require assistance. And I don't think having to ring a button when you are in danger and needing some water is something along the lines of, you need to scratch my back so I can reach my hand behind me and scratch it, if that makes sense. Yes, it does happen. There's a lot of things that just happens. No, don't waste your energy. You've already dealt with a lot in the past while. Besides, if you aren't able to move and if you try to do it by yourself, you'll probably end up being worse than where you already were. So, you should probably take the risk. Although, I think asking for water isn't exactly life or death. But that's just how I see it personally. And I'm sure the caretakers or whoever is there will understand that you might need something to drink, especially in the time that you're in. But if you're still very uncertain, I'm sure you can swallow some saliva or something, you know, build up saliva in your mouth and drink that way, I guess. But I'm sure you're going to have to call someone for help eventually. Or maybe when you know you hear a sound of somebody moving around, you can call the button then, and maybe they'll hear it. So you don't have to worry about waking them up when they're already up, I guess. It's probably realistically the only thing you can think of without waking them up. Because they can't say, oh, well, you woke me up, even though they're already up to begin with. Oh boy, he has an idea. Everyone run for the hills. He's got an idea.
This is Emma. I'm trying to reach... Who's crying?
Emma, John? What do you want?
Okay. The whole world is me. I wanted to talk to you about Paulie and Michael. I was upset. You didn't have to actually leave.
Maybe you forgot.
Well, if you don't think it'll work, then don't do it.
That's going good.
Yes, well, if it doesn't work out, you're welcome back here.
Sure. And hey,
I don't know how realistic this dude's weightlifting animation is, but it's
Bye.
I can definitely notice the shirt clipping.
As soon as they found out what you really like, they'd all leave anyway.
Oh, it actually unlocked fast travel. Wow, I'm shocked. Okay, it's not realistic? Okay, I'll take your word for it. Alright, let me grab this map. Oh, it's a fast travel one, okay. Now, I don't think it's that kind of game, unfortunately. This isn't exactly Fallout or Skyrim, you can just smack someone, so... I can't even use any of my weapons, so... Yeah, unfortunately, this isn't that kind of game. Let's go and talk to him, though.
That's not the only weight on your shoulders. Tell him we'll be back. Can't lose. You named them? Buddies. Condolences.
Now Jim got overrun. We all ran.
Okay, I'm usually not one to skip cutscenes and stuff, but this game's story and writing is kind of weird. It's basically American, modern day American, South Coast, I think that's the word. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. The writing in this game is really weird.
Dennis, got a couple of loose ends to tie up.
It's not even that funny either, but I'll digress. But yes, if you're still in need of water, and if you absolutely have to make the button to call, you should do it. I'm sure they'll understand, especially if you need water. But if you don't want to risk waking them up, I guess, maybe keep an ear out for when someone is moving and you can call them. You're living the American dream. That is... A lot of people define the American dream in a lot of weird ways, honestly. And sometimes the American dream is just... It's not exactly all hunky-dory stuff, if that makes sense. Coney. The freaking texture work is so blurred up I can't even read what the hell it says. Coney 2012! Coney 2012! Okay, sorry. Couldn't resist. Yes, but even if you have all that luxurious stuff, if you don't have anyone to share it with, or even just having friends or anything, is it really worth it? It's, you know, some people maybe want a little bit more than that, but it can't really be defined as to what people really want in life, if that makes sense. And it goes a lot more deeper than what something like The Sims offer with wants and needs and stuff. It's very psychological stuff. Alright. I guess I'll do this mission and then I'll move on to Dead Island 1. Oops. Okay, it says I'm right at the objective, but I guess I gotta kill everyone. Alright. Alright, check the gym for Moose and Dylon. I guess I have to fight these fuckers. The past nor the future, or I thought you, I read it as president. I was gonna be really mad at myself, but no, it's just present. But yes, you are correct. It's like to say, as long as you got a roof under your head and you got food and bread, or sorry, water, bread, and a roof over your head, and you're in good health, I think that's more than whatever is defined as the American dream. Hey, look, it's police officers, but they're zombies, so it's okay. Not to break away from this conversation, but one of the things I didn't really like in Dead Island 1 is that the vehicles are kind of like this godlike entity that, despite being one of those survival games, the vehicles just never had any gas to run out of, and yet, in this game, you can't ride any vehicles whatsoever. It's like, they could have just made it so that you could still drive vehicles and just actually having them, you know, use up fuel like most of these types of games have. It's like, nope, just remove it entirely. It's like with, what Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal did, where it's like, okay, the multiplayer was okay, but it could have been a lot better. But then instead of improving on it, just adding in this multiplayer mode that nobody wanted or asked for. Because that's totally listening to feedback. Yes, King, thank you, I will. I love how the screen is still shaking when I'm paused, by the way. That's definitely some PlayStation 1 and 2 stuff right there. I think it was something that happened like Tony Hawk's Underground, where it's like some background bits would still be moving even when the game is paused. That's what it reminds me of, actually. Yes, it is. Though it is kind of silly. Nothing worth complaining about, I guess, in the long term. It's just something that I still happen to notice. At least you can pause this game unlike in Dark Souls, which is nice. And even when you're playing an offline mode in that game, you can't pause the game at all. It's like, okay, I really have to go to the bathroom. I can't pause the game, so you can only quit the game or just quit the main menu, because that's what people think is considered good game design. Not. Ouch. Slobber. He's just some big fat dude that like pukes everywhere. What an adorable fucker. And he's dead. Alright. Check the lot behind Lenny's. Yo. Oh boy, did I do something? My leg! Oh, Kratos' axe. You mean one from God of War 2018, right? I actually saw that they showcased the I don't know showcase the right word, but apparently there's like a PC specs a list or something. So I guess God of War Ragnarok really is coming to PC. It's pretty alright. I didn't really like 2018 though, and I'm certainly not even gonna bother Ragnarok, but I guess that's one more game that people don't need to buy a PS5 for, so people can have fun with that, I guess. I found the game to be incredibly boring too, by the way, and I haven't even played the originals. I know I have God of War 3 installed on the PS4, but I just haven't gotten around to it, unfortunately. Aw, shit. Alright, time for an epic boss battle with Dylan, the... or whatever his name is. I don't even know. But yeah, I didn't really like God of War 2018. Legitimately, the only thing that was interesting in that game was the fact that Christopher Judge was Kratos, and I know this because that actor was in Def Jam Vendetta, which is one of my favorite wrestling games. He basically played the big villain in that game. I know people really like the sequel more, but I personally don't like the finishing moves in that game. I know that a lot of things are improved in Fight for New York, but I personally prefer the more snappy gameplay that's in Def Jam Vendetta, personally. And even looking at the blazing moves that D-Mob has in the game compared to Vendetta and New York, it's just like... Fight for New York's blazing moves are just ridiculously slow compared to it, and it just turns me off faster than looking up gilf porn online. It's ridiculous. Like, when you see, like, the character Drake in the game, not the rapper Drake, but just some generic dude made for a game named Drake, he basically kicks you out like a hacky sack, and the fact the game doesn't stop that at all, it's just like, holy shit. But then the blazing moves in Fight for New York are just so much more slower compared to the other ones. It's just like, why? I know it's a game that people really want for modern systems, but I don't think that that's ever going to happen. Maybe at best the game will be added back via backwards compatibility, but I kind of doubt that now. Because I know that there are some games that I guess they can't be added via backwards compatibility because of licensing issues, which I think is total horseshit, because technically any PS5, or technically if you're playing a PS4 game on a PS5, you can technically play whatever. But I'll digress. But I'm just like, Vendetta's blazing moves are just so good. And Fight for New York's unfortunately just nowhere near as good, but with how annoying God of War 2018 was, I was just like, yeah, I'm not even going to bother with Ragnarok. And apparently it made the gameplay even more annoying, so I said screw it. But like I said, if people really like that game, that's good for them, but I personally didn't like it. I actually beat it because I just wanted to hear more of Christopher Judge. The dude's legitimately talented, in my opinion. There's actually one of the few wholesome people that's on Twitter that I can think of. I think he made like a little joke video with him holding a Kratos plush, and he was making some really weird jokes. It was just in his lines of D-Mob that just made me smile on the inside. It's just great. The library hasn't changed from last time, but I don't think I'll have time for that, unfortunately. I love how I can melee through a wall, but I can't throw a shuriken across that. Please make it make sense, developers. But okay, let me actually get out of here so I can move on to the other game. Logic left the chat, basically. But yeah, I'll definitely show off the gaming library another time. I'm not gonna have time to go over all that right now, unfortunately. There we go.
This takes me back. Where can I hide the shutter switch?
I do hope the Demon Souls remaster does get added to PS5. No, I do hope Demon Souls remaster does get added to PC so I can actually buy it. It's actually the reason I got a PS5, believe it or not. I know it's not the best remake, or whatever people want to call it. I personally don't even classify as a remake. It's just basically the same game from 2008, but with more quality of life improvements, I guess, and other changes for better or worse. But it's like, I didn't really like Rift Apart, but it is good that they actually added the game to Steam. It's just I didn't like the game, or even something like Spider-Man, which I definitely liked a lot more than God of War. But you know, it's I definitely enjoyed Spider-Man 2, but there were some story bits that really annoyed me, but the gameplay was still pretty good. I think those types of games can kind of get away with having the type of narrative, I guess, it has, where it tries to tell a story and having gameplay to keep in balance, I guess. I didn't feel like I was playing a movie game like The Last of Us. Like, you can still do stuff, and it was... I guess also hope that it's it being a sandbox, you can kind of do whatever and then move on with the story, so I didn't feel like I was playing a movie game. And I did binge through that. I only really stopped at one point because I was tired and I had to, I guess when I woke up, I was like, I kind of slept a lot longer than I wanted to play. Oh yeah, Lords of the Fallen. I actually did platinum the 2014 game. I had it on PS4 for a while. It was actually one of a Christmas gift that I got, and I got around to actually finishing it. I think it was last year, I think, or earlier this year. I forget, but it's I actually really liked the game, but there were some things that later on that kind of annoyed me. I know they actually added multiplayer in the Lords of the Fallen reboot, but I don't know if it's worth just spending money, honestly.
Legs, jump.
I am interested in it though, but I want to see if I can get it for like a really good price, or at least a bargain bin price, or something. Did I say Has-Been Hotel? No, it's Halpern Hotel. Yeah, it's... Whoop.
Do you need some help?
I didn't mean to talk to the radio. Yeah, I know it's on Game Pass, which is interesting, but it's just... I personally don't know if it's going to be worth the spending money. I don't know if it's crossplay or not. I highly doubt it, nor do I really care, but I'm just like... I'm kind of annoyed with Souls-likes to begin with, but if I can get it for a really good price, I'll probably consider it, but it's, I don't know if I want to deal with it, honestly.
Maybe we have a smaller one.
Like, I'm just so tired of games like Dark Souls getting away with artificial design, in my opinion, so it's, I'm kind of disinterested in playing it unless I can get it for a good price. Oh, it was on sale. Well, shoot. I have to check it then. I don't know if it still is on sale. It probably might not be, unfortunately. I don't think I had it on my wish list, so that might have not helped. Oops. This can finally buy ammo and stuff, so that's good. Yes, you should if possible. Oh, shoot. The shotgun. The tactical short-barreled shotgun. Oh yeah, I remember you mentioned that you had a brother. Hopefully he's doing good. I think I can buy the shotgun now? Yes, I can. Why would you think that? Okay, not to distract, so let me fast travel to Beverly Hills, I guess, and I'll oh, I can actually oh, I can actually choose to go day or night. That's kind of interesting. So the one thing about this game that I actually was kind of curious about, and the curiosity is no longer around because I killed it like the cat. But touche. I don't think if you ignored them on purpose, then I could probably see why, but if you didn't mean to, or you were actually legitimately occupied with stuff and couldn't make time, I guess it's never too late to keep the communications going. It's like that movie Boss Baby 2 where the siblings, they haven't communicated in a while and they make time to at the end of the movie, if that makes sense. By the way, you said you were going to leave in about 20 minutes, but I guess you're still here, so either must be doing something right or doing something wrong. You be the judge. Anyway, I'm going to switch over to the next game, so let me go ahead and get my YouTube tabs ready for when I'm done with playing the other stuff, and I will get a move on. Alright, enter the game. Yeah, I'm going to switch over to Dead Island 1 in a minute, so I'm going to actually remove the game screen. So if you see darkness, it's just me switching the scene, so don't be alarmed, it's just intentional. You know, it's just me clicking the button on OBS. I use the original version. I haven't used Studio, and it's I failed to reconfigure everything if I were to use OBS Studio, so screw it. Why change it when it just works? At least a good excuse to it sucks. It's not like you weren't there on purpose, though. But if you have any spare time, you definitely should make as much time as possible to communicate with him in any way that you can. It only takes one phone call to make a difference. I know this sounds really cheesy, but still. It doesn't really have to be like a phone call like in the old days. It's, you know, like, oh, hey, how's it going? You know, it's been a while. Let's catch up on stuff. It's, you'd be surprised at just how catching up on conversations will do for people. But okay, enough of the darkness. Let's actually play the first game. The actual good first game. Yeah, so understandably you were pretty busy, but with circumstances changed for better and or for worse, depending how you feel about it, you could probably make extra time, I guess. Anyway, as much as it pains me to have to progress in this game, because I actually want to try to get more of this game, I actually have to leave this enemy Left 4 Dead, like the game, that's actually good. So let's go ahead and just move on, I guess. Oh god, trying not to load? Wow, I've not played this game in forever. Alright, let's get our heavy hammers out and start wrecking. But yes, if you have a guilty conscience about that sort of thing, you should definitely try to make time and spend some time with them. It'll do you some good. Wheels of Steel. Where have I heard that one before? Hello, Mr. Machiavelli. I'm playing. You just missed me playing Dead Island 2, and I was talking with Yuval throughout the whole thing, so it's I think it balances out. Talking about some serious stuff and other stuff that's not so serious. Not related to the Joker film, of course. Yeah. If I'm to understand correctly, Machiavelli was doing stuff, but understandably, it's good to make time of, well, I can't even speak. It's good to make use of the time when it's presented. So. Just enjoy the now, I guess. Just a good gameplay of a bad game. Okay, I don't know if I would call Dead Island 2 a bad game, I guess, but it's just so... It doesn't feel as good compared to Dead Island 1. Like, I guess it's playable, I guess, if you just want to play typical slot, but it's like... Like, even something like Dead Rising 4 that I know is actually much more easier, there is still consequences for dying. Like, especially was when I started playing, was like, I kept dying a bunch, but dying in Dead Island 2 is literally no consequences. Dead Rising 4 actually does have consequences of dying. This just because how the checkpoint system works. Even with the two separated saving system, which actually works a lot like Resident Evil 6 when I think about it, it's just... Even as something as derp easy as Dead Rising 4 is, dying has more consequences than that. Also, not to mention, I just don't really like the level design of Dead Island 2. It's very linear and annoying, and I don't like playing sandbox games that are linear. That's not how I roll. Like, if I want to play a linear game with action from start to finish, I'll play Mega Man X4. I will never be bored playing that game. There's just something about playing Mega Man X4 where it's just like... Despite it being pretty simple compared to Mega Man X1, 2, and 3, it's, I can enjoy playing that game and not really be bored. But Mega Man X5, it's a completely different story. I hate it. I guess it's technically not as glitchy and as annoying as Mega Man X6 is, and trust me, I know a lot about that game, but it's just like... For a game that was supposed to be the last one, it just feels really fucking shallow. Like, there aren't even that many good musical pieces in Mega Man X5 compared to X4. Oh, but there's a stage, and the worst stage in the game, that has Duff McMillan's theme from Mega Man X2. Even though people think that Mega Man X2 is the weakest of the trilogy. Amazing. I guess I think there was a consensus back then, but I don't even remember. Nor do I even care. All I know is I don't like Mega Man X5, but X4 I can definitely get around. Anyway, hopefully the 1080p resolution is making the stream a bit better to look at, I guess, because I know that some folks, and by folks I mean one person, mentioned my my potato quality was ass when I did that Neo 2 video, but it's at least the stream didn't die. Oh yeah, there's these enemies known as thugs in the game. They're basically like the tanks of the Dead Island universe. I believe if you for some reason the setting is on by default. It basically makes it say the game scales if your level, and I guess that's what Dead Island 2 also does, but I believe in the original version, you actually did, I believe it was an option you could change, but there was actually an exploit what I was doing, is you can basically farm these two thug dudes, and you gain like a shitload of XP. And that's what I was doing. Yeah, Dead Island 2 is just... It's just basically modern day slop. Like, I guess it's playable, but it's like... Like, if I want to enjoy some slop, I could play Dead Rising 4. People could consider that slop. I don't know, it's, I don't know, I just don't like Dead Island 2. I honestly enjoyed Dead Rising 4 way more. That's a game that people universally hate for some reason. Like, it already has the core gameplay from Dead Island. I was saying it myself. It already has the core gameplay from Dead Rising 1. We can basically run around in the mall using almost anything, just beating up a shit ton of zombies. But the thing with the original game is that you were basically on a time limit, and you had to escort people for a lot of it. Now, yes, there is still some of that in Dead Rising 4, but it's not as frequent. And it's only really pertinent in the last act of the game, where it's basically supposed to be like the climax and stuff. And even the times that you do have to do it for like little events, or whatever, you are actually rewarded fairly well for doing it. And if you want to really break the game, you can basically use a vehicle and just mow down all the zombies of a vehicle, and apparently the game doesn't care whether you run over your friendly character or not, because there's no friendly fire when you drive a vehicle. So it's technically more decent, I guess, compared to the babysitting that you had to do in the first game. The lack of co-op, though, definitely does kind of ruin the game in the long run, though, because I could imagine, like, just getting to some legitimately fun shenanigans with the co-op that Dead Rising 4 has, but you either have to play the third game or the second game. Which is a bit of unfortunate, but I'll take the good with the bad, I guess, but it is still something that I feel should be worth acknowledging. And I died. Yes, it would be sick co-op, especially if you bought the game, King. Get you PlayStation Plus. You have super chats on your stream now, right? Why aren't people paying up? As a certain low-tier god says, time and revenue. Yeah, Super 64 is, I don't know, Super 64 is actually kind of trash, though, but I guess the one good thing about the game is that it actually did come with a manual kind of explaining the story, unlike a lot of games these days, where it's like you have to, like, look up in some sort of information or something, or whatever. It's also loosely based on the animated series, which is also pretty good, so I guess it kind of wins, I guess. Okay, King. It's I'll take your word for it, but you should definitely check your caps lock first. I think it's set to I think it's sent from sut to blow, or some witty Spaceball reference. Apparently, making a sequel to that movie. I don't know why, but they're doing it, I guess. I've seen Forsake mention about how media and sequels to remain exactly the same, and yet people eat up the stuff of like Dead Space remake and Resident Evil 4 remake. So where is this narrative that everything has to stay exactly the same or whatever? Like, I don't get it. It's fine, King. It's there's no particular rule against it. I just find it kind of funny. I know you have the stream. Yeah, he's quite a feisty one. Yeah, Deadpool Wolverine. I haven't seen Deadpool 3. Maybe when it comes to a DVD or whatever, I might watch it. I'm personally more inclined to play Ultimo vs. Capcom 3 and just do team up with Deadpool, Wolverine, and whoever third wheel I could use, I guess. Okay, you've seen the movie. Okay, then. Well, that's good. I haven't seen it, though, but I'm not in a rush to, honestly. Remember when people were, like, saying you shouldn't spoil the Avengers Endgame? Those were some funny days. Anyway, speaking of Marvel movies, apparently there was a Punisher movie with Dolph Lundgren. I might actually watch that. Damn it, Mr. Machiavelli, I'm not gonna ban you for life. How dare you spoil the obvious spoiler? It's like spoiling they end up fighting Bowser or Ganon in the Mario and Zelda games. So we're actually gonna make a case about that with Mario Odyssey. It's like, wow, so fighting Bowser is somehow a spoiler? I mean, is it really? Oh, but it's different because of the setup. It's like, okay, it's still a Mario game. You still fight Bowser at the end. I mean, it's not like in something like, was it Link's Awakening, where you actually don't fight him, I guess? I think it's like one of the few Zelda games that actually doesn't have Ganon at all. So actually spoiling that would be kind of weird, I guess. Or even in, What the hell is the other game? Twilight Princess, I think, where you actually fight some deity that is kind of like Ganon, but really isn't. I forget his name. Yeah, the throwing of weapons in this game is pretty good. I'll definitely give this game that. Well, I know there's melee weapons, but I've actually found an exploit that lets me dupe certain weapons. But since I want to actually progress in this game, it's I don't think I can use it anymore. But I should be fine. I end up playing as the girl who is specializing with weapons, I guess, because why not? There we go. Knock, knock. Streams have been going okay, but some days have been busy, others not so much. I know I played some GTA last time, but I don't think that really went too well.
There was a first aid kit.
Yes, fandoms suck, end of story. Exactly, Mr. Machiavelli. And I think Yuval is resting, I believe, so let's hope that he recovers soon. Ah, jeez. There's a thug. Let's go ahead and take care of him real quick. Well, the thing is that I don't really know what game where I could do that in, honestly. Like, I don't know if people even play games like Blades with Central Fiction anymore. Like, I remember I would just used to play that a bit. And that was like when the game was somewhat new, I guess. When it wasn't, like, on PC or whatever, or at least people actually played on PS4. But I really enjoyed that kind of throw, honestly. Ah, well, I'm very glad to hear that Yuval is doing good. Yes, it is actually. It even well, I can't speak. Since the DLC is integrated by default, you can actually access it much easier. I believe you needed the DLC to let you access one of the arena, I think, or something. Okay, you might want to save the motivational speeches, King. It kind of goes a bit more than that. No offense, but it's we've already had our serious stuff, so let's style it down a bit.
Always worth taking a look.
But yes, there is actually a weapon. Okay, you technically can't dupe ammo, I think, or weapons, or I know you can dupe melee weapons, but not actual guns for some reason. But it's I guess it works since you can basically have a lot of throwing weapons, I guess. But even without that, this game is still pretty good. Very funny, King. Alright. Oh, you got your water. Good job. Things are turning out pretty good after all. Got an actual lively audience tonight. I'm actually shocked. But even so with this game, the gunplay in this is kind of weird. Like, you use triangle to reload. It's, ADS is... I think it's okay, it's not toggle, but it's definitely not the sharpest, gun combat. I guess it's technically more focused on melee, but it's still something. It's very good news, Yuval. Big ups, as the kids say these days. But even with this game, you're still incentivized to not like waste resources. But Dead Island 2 is just like there's barely any of that. Like, I don't mind like easy games, but there's just something about Dead Island 2 that's just like, yeah, this is just badly designed. I do wish the Streets of Rome 2 wasn't delayed, though. I was legitimately looking forward to that, and it's like, oh, it's delayed till October. It's like, wow, thanks. This will give me a chance to actually play the game on PC again. Yeah, but it's like, people want easy games, and then it's like, if it's something like Dead Rising 4, people get mad at it, but somehow Dead Island 2 gets a pass or something, or like with how people are sick to death of remakes, but will squeal with Resident Evil 4 remake or even Dead Space. Like, I don't get it. And the thing with Dead Space, that I mentioned this, is that it's basically an in-house development from EA, and yet EA was the same studio that closed down Visceral Games, and yet people are fine with it because it's fun. Wow, that's really that's such a great mindset to have.
Listen, the hotel security system's fried. Some of the security cams deactivated. Some of the key cores have been blocked, including the one
Yeah, basically.
needs to be rebooted.
Like, I think Visceral Games or some studio who made Visceral, or who founded Visceral Games, made the Callisto Protocol, and I guess it wasn't as good, but it's just like, I personally rather play that than play the Dead Space remake.
Rebuilding it isn't difficult, but it does take some time.
And even with Silent Hill 2, it's like, if all the games to remake, why the second game? Like, I'm pretty sure the original Silent Hill was not remade at all. It was still basically a PlayStation exclusive, so I think it would be a much more appropriate game to remake. But I think it's just because Pyramid Head's in it, and even if they were to remake the first one, they'd probably shoehorn him in anyway, so I don't think it would have made sense for anyone, really. And of course, with the Max Payne remake, but it's like, with the dude that voiced Max Payne being gone, like, I just don't think it would deliver unless they got, like, a dude that sounds just like the original. And chances of that are pretty slim. Like with the X-Men 97 cartoon, having a dude that sounds just like Cyclops, even though the original voice actor for him passed away. You don't get many situations like that. And even when they bring back other people, I think they brought back the original voice actor for Wolverine from the show, but people were like, oh, he sounds old. Well, no shit. Like, X-Men 97 is like a 2024 cartoon, and then the X-Men cartoon was from the 90s. Of course the dude's gonna sound like he's aged. Like, what the hell do people want? I don't really play many Remedies games. Some people really like, what is it, Quantum Break? Not Quantum Break, what the hell is that one? Alan Wake and Control, I guess, even though, isn't Control like a really shitty Souls-like or something? Or has Souls-like elements, excuse me? I don't know about Fall Guys 2. The original one was kind of lame. It's basically a really annoying version of Mario Party, and it's like, people don't even play fair in that one, so why the hell would I play it, honestly? Not to offend, but it's just like, legitimately the only interesting Battle Royale game I could, like, think of is that if they make, like, a giant, like, a much more interesting version of NASCAR, but it's like with games like Burnout, where there's this one mode in Burnout where you would keep racing and the person in last place would be eliminated. Now, that would be an interesting Battle Royale racing game, personally. But what do I know? Also, a lot of battle royale games tend to copy PUBG and even Fortnite, whatever, and even the games have the rarity system, whatever. It's just blatantly stolen from games like Diablo and even Borderlands. So, what fun is that? I'd rather just play Borderlands. More specifically, Borderlands 1, but I guess Borderlands 2 isn't too bad, I guess, for the content it has for the Handsome Collection, but still. It's, like, most of the elements is in Borderlands 2. It's just, it's not a battle royale, so I guess people's interests aren't that interesting, I guess. Wow, it's not like Call of Duty? Fuck this game. Like, okay, sure, there's some genres I'm interested in myself. It's like, I don't try to go into a game that I'm going to end up disliking. So I didn't play God of War Ragnarok. I wanted to like God of War 2018, but I found it immensely boring, and I didn't like it even after I finished it. Or even with Dead Rising 4, it's like, okay, people said they hate this game, and I'm like, I played it, I'm like, wow, this game's actually pretty good. Dead Island 2, okay, this game could be interesting. It's the sequel to Dead Island 1, which I'm playing right now. And I think it's really fucking boring. This game at least has more actual depth, and sure, it's a remaster of a 360 and PS3 game, but at least it's a game that's still worth playing regardless. Not even just that too, Mr. Machiville, but even people who worked in the games probably aren't even there anymore. It's like with id Software that they don't have John Romero there anymore. It's just in name only, basically. It's why I feel like GTA 6 isn't gonna be anywhere near as good as literally any other GTA game in existence, or even GTA 5 when that was like brand new. Like Dan Houser was still in the game, so it was still kind of interesting, I guess. You could probably argue that the story of GTA 5 isn't as good as GTA 4, whatever, but it still had involvement from him, so it was still treated with as much care as possible. That is until the Fire Nation, the Shark Cards invasion came in and ruined everything, excuse me. But you get what I mean. Like, personally, the reason I even play GTA Online nowadays is just so that when I'm able to play with people like Yuval, or even whoever, whenever the time comes, I can be prepared for it. But it's just like, there's a reason why people look down on those games, and it just keeps being true every day, and it kind of sucks for it. Crap, I don't have any more bullets. I gotta buy more. Oops. But yeah, even with gaming developers and stuff, it's like even NT Creates was kind of at fault for this. It's like, I really love Blast and Master Zero. I generally consider one of my favorite reboots, or whatever, as of recent memory. The second game I feel that the other two games came out after it were not as good. I mean, not as good, but they were still pretty good. But there are even things in even all three games that are annoying. It's like, I don't know. It's just a hard dilemma, honestly. It's basically what Yuval said. It's like, don't play games that you're not going to enjoy. Too damn true with the likes of Elden Ring, but I'll digress on that. So I want to turn this into another negative hater video again. But at least, now that I found the ways to hack something like Resident Evil 4 on PS2 at least, and maybe even GameCube if I feel like it, I could technically go for the game with infinite rocket launcher without going for New Game Plus. I could basically create a fresh save with the PH thrown in there, because why not? Oh yeah, Miyazaki's coming after me. Well, he can fuck off for that. I didn't mean to skip the cutscene, by the way, but I guess that's not far from the truth with that.
Let's take a look, shall we?
The Bank of Benoy. Alright, well, I guess we have to do some driving. Motherfucker. But yeah, as much as I really don't like the vehicles in this game because they're just some really godlike entity, it's like removing them in Dead Island 2 entirely instead of actually improving on it is just kind of stupid. Like, for a game that's all about, you know, survival and stuff, and vehicles just basically being this get out of jail free card, this seems really weird to me. But it's like, this could have been something they could have improved on this sequel and actually make it more fitting, I guess. But it's like, nope, just get rid of it. So what the hell's the point? It's like with Dying Light 2 where they get rid of the guns, and it's like they have makeshift guns, I guess. What the fuck's the point? Actually, speaking of coming after me with trucks, I believe it's like in the ending of the Street Fighter 2 movie where Bison is just driving a truck and he's just coming after Ryu. So I guess it could be like that, I guess. I mean, people claim that Miyazaki is a dictator and all, right? So I guess that only makes sense. It's just so weird, too. Instead of Bison just coming after Ryu with a fucking cyclocross, he just comes at him driving, I guess. It's just weird as hell. He's just laughing too while he's at it. It would be pretty funny though if the movie ended where like Ryu would do a donkey kick and you just like see all the fucking vehicle like just turning into scrap and shit, like a really weird version of some movie or something. I don't know. It's like a Burnout Crash, except Ryu just does the donkey kick and it just Bison just goes flying. Oh yeah, basically. Because I dare talk about Elden Ring. Well, fuck it. I'm still not playing it, Miyazaki. You can fuck off. Also, I read that B Team actually worked on Dark Souls 3, the same people that made Dark Souls 2. So, what is Dark Souls 2, haters? Alright, following on to Chapter 4. Thank God.
Maybe you can check it out.
No.
No.
No. Well, maybe somebody else has the bollocks to go then. You ever change your heart?
Have a change of heart? No.
No.
Maybe somebody
I also wouldn't be surprised if someone complained about how the user interface was changed from the original Dead Island, where you had like a piece of paper explaining what to do, but in this game it actually has readable text and stuff. By the way, why do people think that Dark Souls 1 is like the best Covenant system in the series? It's like, oh, if you leave the Covenant, you're punished. Well, it ain't exactly like Salt and Sanctuary, where the actual Covenant that you break free from actually attacks you and shit. Literally, the only thing that happens in-game is that you lose half your offering points. Wow. And I think the only realistic way something like that could screw you over is that if you were to, say, unlock the shortcut or have enough offerings for the Chaos Server Covenant to unlock the option to unlock the shortcut to Lost Izalith, but then forgetting to open the shortcut and change covenants, and it's like, what the fuck, I gave 60 offerings. That is literally the only thing you can think of where the covenant changing system happens, and people like make a big stink out of it. Dark Souls 2 would be king, but they have to get rid of the soul memory system first, but it is as B Team intended to be. That doesn't make it immune to criticism, though. It's like how people say that, oh, well, it makes sense for Dead Rising's gun combat to be janky because Frank West never shot a gun before. So I guess by that logic, it's okay for Leon to have tank controls, or even Claude in GTA 1 and 2 or whatever, having tank controls and having a top-down view. Get out of here. I will admit that the way that the Covenant system Salt and Sanctuary works is kind of annoying, but people think that Dark Souls 1 is like the perfect Covenant system. I think I even posted in the Discord. It's like, these fuckers have not played Salt and Sanctuary, and it fucking proves it. Like, that game, you can literally change Covenants, or what the hell was I going to say? In Dark Souls Remastered, they added the ability to change Covenants at the bonfire, but you still lose the offerings, and I know this because Illusory made an excellent video conveying this, by the way. He basically broke down the actual in-game mechanics to how Covenants work. I actually recommend watching it, if you have the time for it. But he basically broke down the mechanics, and all it comes down to is that the most you lose, really, is Covenant point offerings, and the only real sin you get is if you, like, kill a member of a Covenant, like the Forest Dudes or whatever. That's basically it. And Salt and Sanctuary, though, if you actually break a Covenant, they actually come after you, which is technically more punishing than just whatever Dark Souls is losing of offerings is or whatever the fuck. And people are like, oh, well, in Dark Souls 2 you can just swap Covenants and nothing bad happens. Well, maybe because it was a shitty mechanic and it was very archaic. Like, I guess by these people's fucking logic, the exact same combat would have to be conveyed in Akiba's Strip 2, whereas in the first game the combat was fucking shit. But it's not like they tried to fix it in the second game. I'll vouch for that too, like with Resident Evil 4 and stuff, with the combat in the game being pretty shit, but they did try to fix it in Resident Evil 5, and it actually kind of works. And if you just said fuck it, they'll actually move and shoot at the same time. Which is exactly what Dead Space 1 did. That came out after Resident Evil 5, so in that case, Dead Space is the better game. Oh my god, Resident Evil 4 is perfect. You can't move and shoot, fuck this game. Okay. But yeah, since I've actually found the values, which I have to look up online because I want to see if I can find like a reference, I guess. I could basically go through the game with infinite rocket launcher and having stacked healing items, I guess. I could technically cheat if I feel like it. I don't know if it'll make for a good stream, though. If I could do it for the PC version, I think I'd be more than happy. I'll probably play the Japanese version just because you can actually access different difficulty options. Which, yes, the original Biohazard 4, for whatever reason, has like 2 easy mode options, whereas the American versions, you don't get any of that. Thank you, Capcom, for restricting difficulties based on regions, you assholes. I also found out, too, that despite the game having Japanese subtitles, the game still has English voice acting, which is kind of weird. I guess someone made a fuss about on the XCOM where they mentioned the ballistics with Ashley and shit, except I guess the Japanese text says something else compared to what the dialogue is translated to in American, so whatever. The main reason I've been holding off on it, though, is that I actually wanted to find a way to play the game on the hardest difficulty without going for the game first, but thanks to the good old magic of using something like RetroArch's Cheat Finder and even messing with our cheat engine on PS2, you can do exactly that. And of course the various documented cheat codes on something like game hacking. Yes, 1000%. I don't even like Resident Evil 4, but I would rather play the original compared to the remake any day of the fucking week. Oh, the game is so perfect, we don't need a remake for it, and yet people claim the remake is better anyway. How fucking retarded. But that's what people like, I guess. They can like it, I guess, but you previously seen people said that the original will be better in every way, and yet people still think the remake is better somehow. Which is also surprising, too, since I think someone mentioned how Capcom should have been shut down after the travesty that is Resident Evil 3 remake, and I don't blame them at all. That was a fucking asset flip up the wazoo. Capcom should be ashamed of themselves for that piece of shit game. Honestly, I don't even know why. I thought the video was okay. Like, as someone who doesn't even like Resident Evil 4 to begin with, I just personally can't stand playing an action game with limited controls on purpose. But what sense does that make, I guess? It's, I mean, I think he made more than fair points for some stuff, I guess. Even Synthetic made a video defending that video in particular. Yeah, basically. The same fandom who will foam at the mouth for Dead Rising 4 but praise Resident Evil 4. Or even Mega Man X5. Make it make sense, I guess. But at the end of the day, I just consider Dead Space to be better than all those since it actually is a survival horror game and it lets you move and shoot at the same time. Dead Space is not restrictive in the same way that Resident Evil 4 is. So that's why I consider that game to be better than all of them. At least the first game, anyway. I can't speak on the second or third game, but still, it's I think Dead Space does a much better job at doing what Resident Evil 4 should have been compared to what Resident Evil 4 is now. Though, of course, as they say, giving credit to Resident Evil 4 is needed since it basically inspired most, if not all, of the mechanics in Dead Space, but it's pretty fair to say that even Dead Space did everything better, even being inspired by RE4. Like, whether it be the camera angle or the way the combat works and stuff, and basically the whole inventory management works, except it's not like in Deus Ex where it's like Red Base or even Diablo. So yes, technically Resident Evil 4 did originate such things, but Dead Space just does it better in every way. And it even came out after Resident Evil 5, and yet even Resident Evil 5 to a point is still restrictive, a lot like Resident Evil 4 is. But at least RE5 tried to fix the problems of RE4, like actually having a proper co-op, Sheva being nowhere near as annoying as fucking Ashley, the game still being goofy fun while still having fan favorites like Wesker being in the picture. Letting you actually combining ammo to reload, which is something you couldn't do in fucking Resident Evil 4 for some reason. People defend this for some reason. I don't know why, but it's there. Well, you can't pause in Resident Evil 5. Well, you can. You just can't pause when you're doing inventory management. Which you can in Resident Evil 4, but nobody brings it up. But then they'll complain about. They'll complain if you mention you can't do ammo combined reloads. So what the fuck do people want? I'll never know. Yes, it is advisable for sleep time. I definitely should get going to, because I actually got things to do tomorrow. But I'm going to go ahead and head to the... where the hell I got to go? I don't even know, honestly. I'm just fucking around right now. It's, I think... I definitely had a pretty good attendance, which is good. But let me head back to the area, I guess, and I'll take it from whenever I play this next time. I'll figure out what to play next time, but I don't know. Alright. Yeah, I'll go ahead and head back to the arena lobby, I guess. I'll probably do some GT Online, farming, I guess, since I know that you've all wanted to play that game on the X mode, so you gotta be ready. So gonna go do that, and hopefully tomorrow won't be too bad. Alright. Alright, let's do your stupid quest, Simone. Or Sinomois, or how you say your damn name.
Maybe you can check it out.
Alright, fine.
All right.
Look for survivors first.
Alright. Black Hawk down. Ah. Alright. Well, I think that's enough of this for tonight. Let me just see if there's anything singing in the shop. Probably not. I'll have to play this game on PC once I get the spare time too, because there's actually a chapter select, which is actually pretty good, but it's saved by character, which is kind of annoying.
Take what you want.
But at least this game is fun, so I don't really mind. All right, let me head out for the night. Let me get that sound clip up again.
Talk to me. Buy, don't buy. Either way, I'll be fine. You? That's another story.
See ya.